Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, the Jamaica Council of Churches, and the Caribbean and North America Council for Mission. 3 partners, 1 mission to stand.
The Jamaica Council of Churches was founded in 1941. We are an ecumenical body that promotes unity, fellowship, and ecumenical life among Christian churches and agencies in Jamaica. The Council is committed to upholding the human rights of all people, but particularly those of children. In pursuance of this commitment, we have engaged in several projects that support this thinking that children are to be cared for and protected. One is a project to provide for safety among families, where we recognize the need to address the issue of corporal punishment and its implications on the psychological and physical well-being of our children. Another project is an educational support program in one of our rural parishes, which seeks to provide assistance to 122 students at the primary level who have been displaced by the corona pandemic. In this respect, we try to provide educational engagement and exposure to some of these children who have not had any experience or interaction with a teacher for several months. The Council continues to undergird its thinking and its belief that children ought to be protected and cared for.
The Synod of the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands has recognized that our children and young people are in need of our support. And as such, they have responded by pulling together a team of people dubbed the Youth Commission. Now, the purpose of this commission is to provide support and guidance to all the youth arms of our church.
Children and youth are an essential part of the life and ministry of the church. A child care and protection policy was implemented by the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands in 2017, based on the Child Care and Protection Act. It seeks to protect children's rights and promote violence-free communities, based on the rationale that children are a gift from God, Psalm 127, verse 5.
So we're talking about Boys Brigade, we're talking about Girls Brigade, we're talking about the youth fellowships. These are the areas that our young people and children are a part of. And the church has decided to bolster their activities by providing them with the necessary guidance.
She was driving last Friday on the way to see somebody in the Snow White Kids see. Going home to see mommy and daddy with the baby in the backseat. 50 miles to go, she was running low and fading gasoline. Been a long, hard day. She threw her hands up in the air.
The JCC, the UCJCI, and CANACOM continue to be committed in our advocacy for children and young people. It was my honor this year to be able to say some words to the United Nations describing the state of affairs concerning the safety of our children in Jamaica. I am pleased to say that coming out of the UPR, the government of Jamaica has agreed to support many of the recommendations made. And so our work in these 3 bodies now continues to be advocating for the children and following up with the government of Jamaica and with civil society on the recommendations which have been made and accepted.
The Caribbean and North America Council for Mission, CANACOM, we practice a unique vision of God's mission based on mutuality. During the pandemic, we have assisted our member churches in providing care packages for their members who would have been experiencing a challenging time. Also, we assisted others in providing laptop computers and tablets for students in other countries who would not be able to participate in the teaching learning exercise. We continue to be a mission agency which is contextual and relevant to the time in which we operate.
Children were very important in the life and ministry of Jesus Christ. And as a result, they are very important to us, members of the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. And so the rights and protection of our children continue to be very important in terms of the agenda of the United Church. We have developed policies, we have implemented them in our various congregations and regions to make this statement of our commitment to the protection and care of our children. We are really very concerned about the abuse that has been taking place, the lack of opportunities, especially in this COVID period, as it relates to the education of our children. And so as a church, we are deeply committed, and we will do all that we can to advance our ministry and mission towards our children. When I served as General Secretary of the Jamaica Council of Churches, we had different programs with the World Council of Churches, as Jamaica Council of Churches is an affiliate body to the WCC. And one of them that we engaged was the whole issue of statelessness. People who had no sense of belonging in terms of their political status, in terms of their immigration status. And that also affects children in different parts of the world. And so we embarked on a program with the WCC to look at this issue of statelessness within the context of the Caribbean region, also in partnership with CANACOM. Coming out of that was a focus on children. Jamaica has signed different treaties, international treaties, and one of them has to do with the protection of children. And so because in 2015 there was the Universal Review, and another one was due for Jamaica. And so with the help of WCC and in partnership with CANACOM JCC, we had some training with persons from congregations, with children themselves, follow-up workshops to look at what were the commitments that Jamaica had made in 2015. Where was Jamaica in terms of implementation? And with the review that was upcoming, what was the present status and what recommendations would have been made. And so that was a very interesting process of partnership with WCC, CANACOM, local congregations here of the United Church, and other entities as well, to see how we may advance the cause of our children and in terms of their safety and protection.
The rights of a child is food, water, health, clothing, shelter, and protection.
Some rights of a child that I think that Jamaicans are doing extremely well at are education, as the government has put in the necessary fundamentals for children. In fact, because of the whole pandemic, you see the government coming with the use of technology and really reaching out in technology to make sure every child can do online school.
Education is the key to success. It helps to determine the goals you want to achieve. Every child has a right to be educated. Education is the root out of poverty for many children. Education provides you with the knowledge and skills you need to improve in life. Without education, the family may live in poverty.
Jesus takes the wheel, take it from my hands, and say this life for all I'm on. I'm letting go, so give me one more chance, and say this life for all I'm on.
We have a clear ministry to children, and in fact scriptures is very clear and unambiguous in relation to the role that Jesus played in the lives of children. Children gravitated towards him. In fact, most of his ministry and a lot of his lessons had children at the center of it. It was Jesus who brought children into his midst and blessed them. He taught people the issues of the kingdom through the lessons of having children around him. His model of ministry challenges the church's model of ministry. And in the midst of COVID, we need to find creative ways of connecting with our children in ways that are nurturing. We commend in the United Church our Children's Commission for the work they continue to do in the lives of our young.
3 ecumenical partners, 1 mission to stand as salt and light in a world desperate for the hope found in the light of all mankind, Jesus Christ. To shine in spaces overcome by the darkness of abuse and underrepresentation. To be the hands and feet of our Lord.